Hello everyone. Let us discuss questions 1 to 4. Passage 1. So in this passage, we talked about something that all of you must be familiar with, influencer marketing. Right. So on Instagram, we have influencers. So how they are contributing to the business world. Particularly, we talk about momfluencers, so mothers who are influencers, right? It talks about the size of their business. It talks about how much they charge for a single post. It talks about how the market currently is wildly unequal. Then we discussed that how you can't be a momfluencer without putting the public life of your kids on display on social media. Right. Then it talks about the kind of preparation that goes into becoming a momfluencer, how the content is planned months in advance, how professional photographers are hired, how pictures are heavily edited and photoshopped. And it comes to this conclusion that, all of this is very rarely authentic. It's all about marketing. Lastly, the passage makes us think in the direction that, it's a little disturbing because there are certain blind spots that we can have when we put the lives of children out on social media on public display. One is that when it comes to little girls, they are made to perform in front of the camera in wearing mascara lashes in frilly smocks, and that actually leads to slightly higher amount of male followers, which is a little disturbing. And secondly, as a child, if your life is out on public display for a lot of adults to consume, that can have an effect on your mental health. This is what this passage talks about. Okay, so it's a 525 word passage, talks about the business aspect of the momfluencer industry. Let us see the questions. Question 1. According to the passage, which of the following is not false? So basically, we are looking at what is true. A. Momfluencers require a professional film crew and a photographer. Here, the problem is in the word require. The passage does not say that they require it. The passage only says that many of them are hiring it, right? So, see, some of them may hire a professional film crew. Influencers increasingly use professional film crews and photographers too, either paid for by the brand or out of pocket. So, increasingly they are doing it, right? But it does not mean that it is required, it is essential. That is why this is false. B. Most content posted by momfluencers is not genuine. This is something that is given to us. I just read it when I was talking about the summary of this passage. As an industry contact told me, it is very rarely authentic, right? So most of the content is not genuine out there. So B is something that is not false. Let's see why C and D are false. Women made 83% of all consumer purchases in the US in 2021. The year given to us in the beginning is 2019. So it is outrightly false. Similarly, for option D, let's look at this bit of information given here. This is for option D. In 2019, Forbes estimated that the new mom economy, now, the new mom economy includes all these things, the apps, products and services targeting millennial parents. All of this stood at $46 billion. Momfluencer economy is just a part of this new mom economy, right? There are other things too, other products and services too. There are apps. So that is why D becomes wrong, because it says the momfluencer industry was worth $46 billion. No, it is the new mom economy. So again, outrightly false as far as our passage is concerned, and that's why B Bangalore is our answer here. Okay. Question 2. Which of the following discussions is most likely to continue the passage? So when we have to answer such a question, we have to see what was talked about, of course, throughout the passage, but especially in the last paragraph, what was being discussed. So we know this, that in the last paragraph, the author is discussing some blind spots that we can have when we put the lives of our children, when momfluencers put the lives of their children on social media. Okay, one was this concern that little girls have slightly higher amount of male followers because they are being made to act like adult females, right? And another is that kids are performing their childhood for an adult global audience, and that can have an effect on their mental health. So basically, this paragraph focuses on the concerns that arise when you put children, when you put the lives of children out on social media, on display on social media. Okay, display, public display of children's lives on social media. This is what this last paragraph talks about. So let's see what is likely to continue this discussion. A says the pressure to succeed in the momfluencer industry can lead to an emphasis on creating contrived content, content that is not genuine but has been planned, schemed in advance by mothers and children. This is something that has already been discussed, right? When we come to the conclusion that it's very rarely genuine, this is already discussed. So this cannot continue the passage. B says many momfluencers struggle to strike a balance between being a good parent and maintaining their influencer status. Are we talking about parenting in the last paragraph? That, they are not good parents. Their parenthood is not being questioned. The concerns of putting children's lives on social media is being questioned, right? So even B is not the answer. It becomes very broad and it talks about parenthood. Let's see between C and D. The rise of momfluencers has created a new type of job for mothers, okay, but at a huge cost. What is that cost? Isn't this vague? Yes? So, even this may not be the answer. Let's look at D. Momfluencers have become a powerful force in the advertising industry, but their use of children in their content raises ethical concerns. We are discussing precisely this in the last paragraph, so it is quite likely that this is going to continue the discussion. This is going to continue the passage. And therefore, D Delhi is our answer, not C. Okay. Question 3. Which of the following best explains the purpose of the fourth paragraph? Momfluencer sites may, and then out of pocket. So let's just go back to the fourth paragraph. Let's see what the fourth paragraph talks about. Momfluencer sites may look spontaneous. They may look spontaneous, but actually the content is planned months in advance. They, influencers can hire an agency and they use professional film crews. They use photographers. So we are talking about everything that goes into preparing the content, that how it looks spontaneous, but there's a lot of preparation that is going into it, right? Let's see which option discusses this. So if you look at A, to explain how momfluencers curate their content through an agency to appeal to brands and their target audience. See, again, the focus is not on their hiring an agency because they may hire an agency. It's not a requirement. It's again not an essential. Right. Moreover, we haven't really discussed the impact of this on the target audience, how it impacts the target audience. That has not been discussed in the paragraph that I just read. So A is, tangential in nature. It focuses on the wrong things and therefore eliminated. B, to highlight the hard work and professionalism, crews, agency, etc. that go into the momfluencer business. A very tempting option. Looks close, yes? Um, However, see, while the author describes the process, okay, this is what they do. They have an agency, they are represented by an agency, they hire crews. The author does not comment whether this is a positive thing, whether this is a negative thing in this paragraph. The author does not highlight this as hard work or professionalism. These are judgments, right? That, oh, she's working hard, oh, she's very professional. So these are judgments. The author refrains from making any such judgments. The author just talks about the process, the preparation that goes into it. Right? So the author is really examining the process of creating momfluencer content, including the use of professional film crews and scripted content. Right? So the answer will be more neutral in tone. Right? This is more neutral in tone, and that is why we are picking C over B. Coming to D, that is to discuss the process of momfluencers using their children in their content. No, this is not at all the focus, can be eliminated. Right? C is the answer. Okay, none of the following can be inferred from the passage except. So basically this question asks what can be inferred from the passage. A, the momfluencer industry is expected to decline in the coming years due to increasing concerns over child exploitation. No, this cannot be inferred. The author does not make a comment on the future of the momfluencer industry. So whether it is expected to decline, I don't know. Whether it is expected to keep growing, I don't know. Right? Eliminated, eliminated. Look at these two. Now, because of economic barriers, the momfluencer industry is unequal and accessible only to a select few. No, this bit is not correct. See, it is wildly unequal, that is mentioned in the beginning, that like any other market, it is wildly unequal. But the fact is that the author does not comment on its accessibility. In fact, the momfluencer industry is on the rise because all it takes is internet connection and an account on a social media platform. So it's not about access really. While this bit is true, this bit is not commented on, this bit is incorrect. Right? We can see this right in the beginning that it is much like the regular one, wildly unequal, right? The top 1%. So then it gives an example that how is it that it is unequal? But there is a potential gold mine for those who succeed. So the author does not comment on the accessibility, that only a few can access this market. The author, in fact, talks about the burgeoning market, right? How the market has ballooned. So we will reject option C. All right. C is rejected. D says compromising the privacy of the child is a requirement and inevitable consequence of being a momfluencer. Now, when you first read this option, it appears to be an extreme option, yes? Inevitable consequence. However, this is precisely what the passage is saying. See, if the passage is making a comment that that is judgmental or that includes the opinion of the author, then of course the option can also do the same, right? So this is something that is there right on the first slide. See this. One thing is certain, you cannot be a momfluencer without kids. So having kids is a requirement, or without pushing those kids into the public eye. Even pushing those kids into the public eye is a requirement, right? And you can't be a momfluencer without putting your kids to work. So the paragraph itself is making these comments that these are essential. Okay, you can't be a momfluencer without them. So it is essential, it is inevitable, it's a requirement, right? And therefore D Delhi is the answer here. Hope this is clear to you.